Let me just do this. All right, TRVL. Well, the good news is that it's cheaper. So if anyone is looking to pick up some more TRVL, now you can. Otherwise, unfortunately, we've lost support lines, and we had a back test of key areas, and the price has unfortunately not been able to hold support. Yeah, and that's normally really, if you look at the way the price has been falling, that was our real kind of fight. About 5.76 cents. That was the fight. That lasted how many weeks? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, maybe about 1.5 weeks in that area. And unfortunately we lost it. Came back in, and then unfortunately 4 days at 5.5, and then we were rejected. The good news is, apart from the fact that the price is cheap and you can get it cheaper, is that we had this downtrend trend line which is broken, and we, even though we lost this low, we're still above this downtrend line, so we haven't fallen into it. I don't mind that so much, as long as, if we were to fall, I think if we were to fall back into it like that, it would start to look really bad. Yeah, because once you break those trend lines, you don't really want to fall back in. Yeah, it's the same thing in the future. We're going to go up, right? In the future we're going to go up. Whenever that happens, it's going to happen. Yeah, in the same way that like we've broken underneath these trend lines, that's not a big deal so much, but when we do come back above them, it's going to be a big deal. Yeah, that will be a sign of strength. And so we've got these established lines, and we'll know when we find strength again. We'll know, because like for example this one, that trend line exists now, and potentially this one from the lows exists. And so if we finally, in the future, however low we go, we get back up, we'll see. It'll be very easy to see. Also, the good thing about this move down is that a lot of the liquidity was cleared. That's why you've got like these 3 wicks. See that? That's why you got 3 and 4 wicks in the highs, because it's taken some time to clear the liquidity before the price descended. You see that? It's quite interesting pattern that's formed here. Maybe not at the absolute highs, maybe not at 8 there and there. Okay, but the rest have been, and that just tells me that in the future, when the price really does find strength, then it should really not find much resistance on the way up. Okay, it's something to bear in mind. I think now it's a challenge for a lot of people, because certain people, I've been streaming since December, a lot of people with me were picking up in these lows here, and depending on your trade plan and your trading strategy, you might have taken profit. You should have, if you listen to me, taken profit, because the whole idea was to take profit to buy back lower. And so if we can create an army of people who can skim a little bit of profit, wait, put it on the side, and then when the price comes, try and put limit orders to absorb the price, then that will be a collaborative effort to prevent the selling. At the end of the day, what is this selling anyway? It's just crypto, isn't it? It's just the people buying and selling, speculating. Bitcoin goes up, Bitcoin goes down, people panic, people have heart attacks, they market sell. That's part of what's going on, Bitcoin. I think part of what else is going on is that people have no idea about the future potential impact of Dtravel, and you compound that with a multi-year downtrend. And I could have said, we could have said in the past, yeah, this downtrend, I said many times, I think the downtrend is over. And I almost regret saying that, because obviously it's not. What we're experiencing now is momentum of the market leaving this market, you know. So the problem is that because of the launch and because of the way the price declined and fell down so sharply, you've got moving averages which were kind of trending down, and it's just taken a little bit of time to turn them. So you see now we're basically back at the 50-week average. If you buy now, you're buying at the average price for the last 50 weeks. Right now, this is the current price. See, price is at the 50 moving average. Yeah. And even though there's a little bit of market buying, the best strategy would be to just limit buy and scale in. Okay. When you're looking at this chart, I see a higher time frame chart that's coiling up. And it's quite interesting because actually, I think this is very similar to Slurf, except this is a multi-year week time frame chart. Slurf is just like it's been out for a couple of months. And so let me just kind of give you an example of what I'm seeing. I'm going to have to use different time frames, obviously. So Slurf is, let me just unlink them here. Don't know which one it was. I'm bringing that back to TRVL. Does that work? So Slurf from the right, it's the daily time frame. TRVL on the left, it's the kind of yearly time frame. Oh, can I get it? So I'll try not to move it because it'll reset. But effectively, you've got the launch and you see the price comes down once. Now this on the right is daily, this on the left is weekly. You see it goes up, comes down, goes up, goes up, goes down, goes up. It goes down, down. See this? It goes down, down. Kind of goes up. That was a relief rally. This was a relief rally. Okay. And so Slurf is obviously lagging. It's lagging a little bit, isn't it? But there are similarities, no? In the way that the chart has been played out. Now, TRVL on the left is a multi-year weekly time frame chart. Slurf on the right, the daily chart, only launched in March. But there's similarities, no? It looks very similar in the way the price has moved. And obviously now Slurf is experiencing our little kind of what we experienced. I'm wondering if Slurf is actually looking at this, is lagging, and maybe TRVL is actually going to lead the way. Who knows? It's hard to predict what happens, but I do expect the same thing to happen to Slurf. So while people are looking at Slurf and they're really bullish, and you should be, I do think it's possible because of the momentum of the market. You just can't fight it. It just has to play out, and it's always based on price action and the way the price closes. So let me just get my moving averages here. This is the simple moving average 50. This is the weekly. On the left is the weekly. See that? So the only difference in my mind is that here on the right, Slurf is. I should unlock them as well because it. So I don't know why it does that. Obviously on the right it's daily, on the left it's weekly, but you see here we'll potentially see we're launching out from the 50, and here Slurf is only just launching out from the daily 50. Potentially this could actually go up quite far based on this idea. The difference here obviously is that we weren't able to take out that high. I wonder if Slurf will be able to take that out. I imagine so, but let's see. And then you just can't escape the momentum. So in the same way that these averages here pulled the price down, these averages will pull the price down. It's not necessarily easy to see on a weekly time frame, but if I go up slightly higher to the 2-week time frame, you'll see here, look, you see that was a 52-week moving average. Yeah, and as we were coming up into it, you see how difficult it was to cross, and then how now we've come back down to it, we haven't found any kind of support. But it's flat. You see how it's flattened out, whereas back in January it wasn't that flat. On Slurf, I'm going to have a look at the 2-day in comparison to the 2-week there. There's no 52 days, no 50 here, so can't compare. But it will have the same in the same way. You'll probably have, it'll be like that. So eventually that will pull. It'll be exactly the same with Slurf, potentially, or not. I mean, who knows? Like, no one can really predict the future, but you can see the starts are the same. So that's quite interesting. I think once we now finally bottom out, because the momentum is flat, the whole thing's flat now. So what we've actually achieved in going up, up, down is an up, down, like 3 up and downs, is to completely flatten out our momentum, the momentum of the market. And while it might look, to a lot of people, it might look a little bit bearish because we're potentially experiencing a death cross, I would ignore it. And the reason why I think the golden cross here was very important. And obviously we did have an increase in value. I think the death cross, I would ignore it, because in the context of the bull market and what's about to be released, etc., I think it's what you have to do is wait for it to cross, and then let's wait for it to cross again. Yeah. So whatever happens here, just let it play out. Eventually the price will flatten out, and I don't have a problem with the price flattening out somewhere here. I don't know how far this is going to go. I'm certainly not in the business of catching falling knives, but I think if you were thinking about catching a falling knife, if anyone's thinking about where would I catch a falling knife on TRVL, the answer is really easy, actually. In all cases, the best place to buy and sell on spot will be, usually it will be a point of control or a high volume node. So it's not difficult, just do a range profile. I use Bybit. You can see on Bybit the point of control is at 4.8 cents. So the next kind of high volume node, we kind of add it now at 4.1 cents. You see that? And then here at the value area low, that's at 3.3. Probably the value area low of this Bybit chart is going to be easily your best buy, because you're just getting at the value area of the low of the range of the value area. And if you were to look at like other charts, like say KuCoin, yeah. Now, does that mean you should sell because I think the price is going to 3.1? Hell no. And I don't want people to blame me because they think they were smart enough to sell now and hoping for lower. That makes no sense. If you were to sell at 9 cents or 12 cents hoping for lower, that would make perfect sense. It makes no sense to sell at 4.1 hoping for 3.1, because no one actually knows what's going to happen. I don't know, even though it's starting to look a little bit droopy here. I don't know. I can't predict. Who knows? There might be a massive buy up. Who knows? Tomorrow, who knows? No one can really predict the next candle. Yeah. And this is the 3-day candle anyway. And you see this is the daily time frame candles. You had a sell-off. Yesterday was kind of like no set. It was like there was selling, but the price didn't go anywhere. It's quite high volume as well. So you see, the other thing to bear in mind now is on KuCoin, the volume is starting to pick up again. Yeah, see that? This is KuCoin. 2 million, 2 million, 222, so that's quite an interesting development, because for a large period of time you see the volume on KuCoin was low, and now the volume is returning. I don't know what that means, maybe because the price is back low again. And obviously when you look and you see here on KuCoin, the point of control is actually 3.1 cents, so this is slightly lower than on Bybit. Right now Bybit has most of the volume, and over the last few days and weeks and whatever, 3 million, look, every day 3 million volume, 3 million. So I mean, even these drops, they're not extra volume. It's not, they don't reflect an increase in volume unless the volume bar says so. The only reason why you get like these big drops is because the corresponding area, if you correspond it to here, there was no volume here, there was no corresponding volume, and so therefore when it comes past that same area, the price just passes through very quickly. That's why it looks like that. It doesn't mean anything. And in the same way, in the future, when the price somehow bottoms out and comes back to the same point, wants to go up, it will go up very quickly in the same way, because as the price dropped there was no volume. Okay, so I'm not looking at that red candle and going, oh my god, we're going to hell. I'm thinking is in the future the price would just go up really quickly, that's all. As we go lower, it's going to become more problematic for the price to go down. You have to understand this, yeah? So in the same way, as we came down, you see here, we had consolidation here for a good part of 2 weeks in February. And in the same way, that consolidation was matched. You see how it was matched? Okay, so the price loves to do that. It loves to match price action. So in the same way, as we've now come down to maybe here, I don't expect us to now suddenly do that. That makes absolutely no sense. I expect the same kind of matching here with here, because that's a previous range. If we are able to get back into that range, then for a good part of maybe 3 weeks, we could just be here 3 weeks, basically, potentially. And maybe that will be required, the time required to get rid of this downward momentum that we've just started to build up. You see, that's the daily 50 moving average. You see how it's quite positively to the downside. And if we do go into that range and we do find that the price still wants to go lower, then we have a lower range here. And this is a good part of maybe 6 weeks. We're 6 weeks in that range. Yeah, something like that. And so in the same way, if, it's a big if, I mean, who knows, if we can't get back up to go up within the next few weeks, and we range here for a while, I find it very, I'd find it very difficult to imagine the price goes down after we range here at the bottom of this range for a while, because then naturally, if you're ranging here at the bottom, you're holding support, and if you're holding support, then you basically want to go back up. Yeah. But anyway, worst case scenario, then you kind of go back into this range. It's always the same. Go back into that range. Then probably for the similar type period, 6 weeks, whatever, in that range. And that's kind of how the price moves. Now, obviously, for the future, we want bullish, impulsive behavior. It's always better. Firstly and foremost, it's better to not have green candles. And that's why I keep on telling people stop market buying when we're consolidating, when we're in pullback, when the price is correcting. Stop market buying. Just don't do it. It's actually unhelpful. And I don't think people realize that. And so, you know, this is a low liquid micro cap token. We're building interest in TRVL. And so naturally the people who are trading out there are us, people like me, and when it comes to TRVL, I know people are like desperate to fill their bags when they get a little bit of cash bonus, whatever, and I truly appreciate that. But it's always better to just put limit orders and watch your orders get filled. It's especially more important in a downtrend that's recently formed, and because we just want to kind of absorb the selling and hold the price as high as possible. That's really what we're trying to do here. Now, in the ideal world, this is the perfect world. The perfect world, I would be a billionaire. Yeah, I'd still be doing this on Dtravel, and I would put my limit orders here, 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 and just absorb them, just non-stop absorbing them, absorbing the price at the highs there, and then the price would have just gone sideways for up till now, until eventually all the selling would have been absorbed in the highs. And then once the correction was complete, you'd have another impulsive, but instead of impulsing from down here somewhere, we're impulsing from the highs straight into low volume, less resistance areas. Whereas the problem with us descending like this is that there will be a little bit of resistance to go back up. Yeah, there'll be trapped liquidity, there'll be levels that have to be flipped, and so we need the next move to be ultra bullish impulsive. Otherwise otherwise it's going to be difficult to get through those areas, and I think it will be, but let's see what happens. Marvy, don't know what you're saying. I don't want to panic people, because, you know, maybe people are feeling like they were rich and now they're poor. It's just a good opportunity to continuously scale in. If you're a long-term advocate for Dtravel, who cares? 22 cents, 3 cents, 4 cents, it's not a big deal. If you use the time weighted average price approach or a dollar costing average approach, doesn't really matter where you buy at the lows. But it does help if people are limit buying. Just put your limit orders and absorb the price. Just absorb the price, absorb the selling. Eventually the market selling will come to a close, and cross fingers, whenever it ends, the market selling ends, hopefully we'll have a higher high and not take out the all-time low. I'm expecting that to happen or to not happen. And then obviously once you put in the higher low, what you've got here is no trend, it's equilibrium. Yeah, it's like the price has fallen and it's just finding its balance. This is all this is it's a balancing act. Yeah, where the price is just finding its balance. Eventually it will kind of potentially balance out, and then we explode. Yeah, then that's kind of how it's going to play out. I don't know when it's going to happen, can't predict that. And obviously the sooner that we can absorb the selling and make this price go flat, I think the quicker it's going to be. Yeah, so I'm not saying we should buy this price up now and hold it there, because that's also a way to do it. Buy it up and just hold it there. Yeah, it'll just, like, the higher you hold the price, the easier it is, because the lesser distance the averages, the moving averages or the momentum has to travel to get back to the price and to become flat again. But obviously we're not experiencing that. So in this circumstance, we just need the price to get to a certain place and find support. Dan is asking inverse head and shoulders on the weekly. Yeah, I mean, I have talked about the head and shoulders on the weekly time frame. This is the inverse, so it's a lot easier to see. And let me just hide those. Ignore that wick. Shit. You have it could be a head and shoulders, or it could be a rounding bottom as well. Yeah, so it could be one of those two. If it's a head and shoulders, then there's a very definite defined or definite neckline. And then after you put in the shoulder, you just need a little breakout. You'll probably end up with a breakout and back test somewhere at 9 cents for an explosive move. Yeah, that's probably what you would expect, or any variation of something like that. I wasn't expecting it in the first instance. That's why I was so focused on my Wyckoff idea and my Adam and Eve pattern. But I did at certain points suggest that if those two patterns were invalidated, then there was the potential for another bullish idea, which was something like this. Of course, at no circumstance do we want to get a new all-time low. That would be detrimentally bad for this project. It would mean something catastrophic has happened. I'm not imagining that that's going to happen, but in any case, let's just say for the shits and giggles, like, because I like to entertain and speculate on different ideas. If you were to get some kind of all-time low here, then what I would want to see is a V-shaped recovery straight away from the all-time low straight to the high. Yeah, that's what I want to see. If for some reason this trajectory that we're looking at on the weekly time frame continues, and no one really can predict that, so I don't want to say it can't happen. Who knows? But if for some reason everyone starts to sell, I can't stop them. Can't stop anyone from selling. And we see this weekly trajectory follow course, then we'll end up at the all-time low in September. The all-time low. And what I would want to see is a real V shape, but we don't have much time then, you know, that's the problem. So and when I say we don't have much time, we really don't. Like I don't even like that idea. It could still play out, but I don't like it, and it's less and less likely to play out correctly as the Bitcoin bull market gets closer to its final ending point in terms of the end of next year potentially, or whenever. So I don't like it at all. I think what I would prefer, if we were to have that kind of, and it's not going to happen, obviously it's not going to happen, but like a sharp sudden drop in one day or 1 week, like a long red candle down here, and then the next one to be a green buy up, or even in the context of the same candle to have a sharp sell off all the way down to whatever, and then immediately a buy up all the way right back to the same place where the price action began, within an injection of volume. And then I think then the price would start going up. Then people wouldn't, you'd get like this, but then you'd get like that. Yeah. I'm not thinking like that. I don't know, but I'm thinking that this is a multi-year coil, and we've had a little kind of push up. Now we're getting a little bit of a sell off, and people will then get themselves positioned in for the next big move. So yeah, so there is some kind of a inverse head and shoulders pattern playing out. I prefer rounding bottoms, just simply because the neckline is angled and there's no higher pivot, which would indicate a market structure change. So if we had a higher pivot there, then you'd be looking for a market structure change as well, which would be a classic inverse head and shoulders or head and shoulders pattern. Because we don't have that higher neckline, it's a lower neckline. I think a rounding bottom would be better here. You get a rounding bottom like this, yeah, don't know, whatever. It could end up, again, these patterns always love to mix and match and figure themselves out. you could end up going up to whatever. Let's see up there. Have a little kind of whatever teacup, rounding cup. I don't know. I don't like this either so much. I'd rather we just go up in a straight line. I'd rather they just launch it on Binance, Coinbase, OKX, whatever, and just take us to $10 overnight. I'd rather that happened. I'll be happier because it'll be less stress-free, and then I'll probably get a few more followers on, on my YouTube. In terms of good places to buy, well, I've already said, if you're looking at your exchanges, just use the volume range profile, and if you can buy, obviously on Bybit it looks like we've lost the point of control, but what's the next stop? Well, if you can get it at the value area low, that's really good. Yeah, if you can get it at these red candles which haven't been tapped, like this weekly candle here, I'll show you because I've got it marked off somewhere. Oh, yeah. I have a lot of levels marked up. The next big one is actually at 0.039322, that weekly level. You can see on the chart for many weeks the price failed to get above that level. That week it was the red doji, and then the price exploded up. You see, that was a very important level, that whole level. Yeah, we spent 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 weeks at that level. Yeah, I don't see why we don't spend another, at the very least, 6 weeks here. So don't panic sell thinking that we're going down, because we're coming into a really strong area of support where the price was unable to break through for 6 weeks until it did. And in the same way, I don't expect the price to just suddenly fall through that area flat. It's just a really good place for the next 6 weeks at least to accumulate. Sure, the price might go down to test lower levels, but it'll probably get brought back up, because that's a really, like, it's the fucking good buy, really, isn't it? It's like an amazing buy, that weekly level. And when you're looking at mathematical ratios and fib ratios, etc., you can see how, let me hide these, so you see how that weekly level that I've marked perfectly lines up with the 618, which is the golden ratio. Yeah, so from this pivot low down here to the pivot high there, 618 ratio is at the weekly level, which is where the price was stuck for 6 weeks, and it's an untapped weekly level. What does that mean? It means that the price has never traded there since it was created, and so therefore it's a fresh liquidity level. If you want to place your orders there, that's an amazing place to buy, and just put limit orders. Don't market buy. People are desperate to market buy. The one and only time when you start market buying is when the impulsive price action begins. Yeah, when you start seeing the impulse, when you start seeing the move, the impulsive move, that's the time to market buy, push the price, because at that point everyone is buying and everyone is market buying. So the only way to get filled is to market buy, and that's why impulsive moves, the price can move so far. But when the price of a coin or a coin is correcting, you don't want to market buy anymore, because you just create green candles, which causes problems. It's resistance to the price when the price wants to go back up. You don't really want green candles. What you want when the price is descending is all red. Literally. And while people look at the chart and they go, oh, I like green candles, it looks like the price is being bought up, the reality is that the price finds resistance on those green candles, because of trapped liquidity. You're creating liquidity levels where the price will need to get through, and so it's a lot more fluid and easier for the price to go up when you don't have green candles. And so here you see in the last 4 days, 5 days, when the price dropped here, red, if and when the price decides it wants to go up, guess what's going to happen? It's going to go up really quickly, all the way back up to 5 cents. It'll go up really quickly. At the moment, it's being blocked. The price is being blocked. The price is, at the moment, it's unable to just get back into this candle here. At the moment, it's struggling to get to there. There's a green candle there. It will struggle to get to there. That's the daily level. So it'll be resistance there. But if and when in the future the price does manage to get back above that daily level and flip it into support, all of these red candles will feel like they don't even exist. It'll just go right up there, basically. And so the price moves like that. It moves based on historic price action. The way the price ascended or descended will determine how the price ascends or descends. And so wherever we're finding support now, if you go back in time and you can correspond it to historic price action. Look here, that where we are now is corresponding to the top of this little mini range here. And so because during that period in February we were stuck here, we were ranging here, now that we're coming back into that kind of area of interest, look, guess what's happening? The price is finding support. It's getting stuck. Okay, so when you're looking at this, I always said this from the beginning. I said I like this chart because we're creating market structure, and it just means that the price is going to find it more difficult to go back down. And you might look at this and go, wait a minute, the price isn't finding difficulty going back down, but it really is. Look how many weeks it's been now. So since we put in a high here in, it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, like nearly 3 months. 3 months of in 3 months the price has gone from thereabouts 54% in 3 months. This is not this is a very bullish correction. This is so bullish you don't understand. I don't think people realize how bullish this is. A 3-month correction, and it's been quite deep correction, and still we're only still above 50% of the way from the all-time low to the high. Well, actually we're slightly under 50, almost at the golden pocket. This is the perfect place to buy this weekly level, actually 618. Buy them. If the price finds support there, that's a really good place to buy this weekly level. Yeah. And does that mean the price isn't going to drop? Well, the price will eventually stop dropping when people when there are more buyers and sellers in the market. But the buying has to be it can't be market buying. It has to be orders in the order book. So people put their orders in the order book, fill those order books, and eventually the selling will stop because people will sell, and there's just too many buyers. There's too many orders in the order book. So I don't know if people are looking at the order books to see the liquidity in the order books and to see where the buyers and the sellers are placed in their orders. We haven't got to that kind of level yet, but we will in the future. So that's kind of the way the chart is. It's hard to imagine the future, but it's coming. You know, we're gonna have a crazy breakout in the future. Already in this current month, we've put in almost the same amount of volume as 2 months ago, almost. So we're getting a lot of buy up now. There's a lot of people buying, and yeah, while I think that weekly level is going to be really strong support just because of the golden pocket and the untouched weekly level, obviously 3.1 cents is the best price in the whole of this range. 3.1 cents is the best price. So I don't want you to tell you guys to buy at a certain place, not thinking that the price can't go down. Of course it can. If there's not enough people buying at the weekly level here, 3.9, the price will go down further, right? And it's a little bit, I mean, I'm not chastising anyone or correcting anyone. It's a little bit of a lesson actually, because now the next time the price goes up, yeah, I think a lot of people are going to be more inclined to take a little bit more profit at key areas. Yeah, so 9 cents, I did mention 9 cents all the time. 9 cents was a very important level, and well, lo and behold, look, the price was at 9 cents for 5 weeks plus 1, 6. Yeah, you can't, no one can ever, like, no one should look at the chart and go, this is shit, when I've literally got videos going back 6 months ago telling you that 9 cents is strong resistance. Yeah. In the future, what you have to do is you have to create a strategy or an idea, a trading idea, where at key levels, which whether it's me or someone else or yourself, you find a key level, you take some profit with a view to putting it back in at support. Now, it doesn't matter if the price continues to go up and you take that profit and put it back on support there, 9 cents, it's back in the same place, but after you see an up and a down. Or if the price comes back down here after you've taken your profit at 9 cents and put it somewhere in support here, like this weekly level at 3.9. Yeah, it doesn't matter. So you have to have that mindset. So if you see that there's a major level of resistance, take your profit with a view to putting it back in and put it back in. Now, you can't be greedy with that idea. You have, because you might lose a little bit of TRVL in the process, simply because you might buy back in slightly higher, because if the price does continue to go up and you've taken profit at a key level, then you'll end up, if you don't have the ability to be patient, then you'll end up FOMOing in at highs, and that's greed. It's greed. It's better to just accumulate more now so you can take profit and still have a healthy sum in your pot, okay, in your bags. That's really a better strategy. Otherwise, it's just buy and hodl and just forget about it. Just go on holiday or something. But this is coiling up. And I think everyone who's involved now is involved in at the best possible time, because we have a working product. And you can see it's working. If you go onto our Telegram, Dtravel Telegram group, let me just load up now. It's gone black. Apologies. Let me just load up now. What is this rubbish? Cuff community. You can see it's working. Look at the Telegram. New booking processed. New booking processed. New booking processed. Look at this. It's working. New booking processed. This is me. Look, new booking processed. Direct Stay London, hosted by me. See, this was yesterday. Was it yesterday or the day before? Saturday. See, it's happening. We're getting more and more active, and you have it's just off the radar. I just think the problem is that it people are so obsessed with meme coins that that they've lost track of the real value, the actual value. What did I want to show you? Yeah, let me just go to give me a second. I just got to find the right page. There it is. When you look at the Dtravel, there it is. Look at this. Dtravel, booking vacation rentals peer-to-peer is your, well, yeah. Apart from that silly meme. you don't have many crypto projects adding real world properties to their network like Dtravel is. Livia just launched a new booking site and added their listings in Tias, Lanzarote, that's in Spain, to the Dtravel network. See that? There's not many projects that are in real time where actual physical properties, businesses are joining their network. And it's a very unique proposition what we're experiencing, and it's all decentralized and it's all based on TRVL as the native token for what's happening. And so it's just a matter of time. I think it's just a matter of time. Yeah, look at all these. Look, artsy short-term rentals just launched the booking site. Yeah, and this is just continuous. Yeah, and so this is going to speed up and speed up and speed up as time passes. So I think you just have to be patient. You have play the long game with this, and I think you'll be fine. Obviously, I'm a little bit disappointed that we've given back most of our gains. Yeah, I'm not naive. I personally would prefer TRVL at 20 or 30 cents than at 4 cents. Because it means I can go on, I can spend a little bit more money in my life and enjoy life a little bit more. But that time is coming for us in the future. Yeah, that time is coming where we'll have a moment of massive crazy euphoria, and then that will be a good time to take a little bit of profit or more. So this is just an opportunity. Don't fade out. Maybe some people are selling here because we put in a lower low. That's probably what happened. But if you're wondering what happened here, well, I've been talking about market structure for a long time. That was our higher low. That was our higher high. We took out that low here. This low here. This low here was actually the one that came afterwards was, or this one, whatever. I mean, technically, you want to be really technical. This is Bybit, huh? Technically, that was your lower low. Here. That was your lower high. That was your lower low. That was your higher high. And you just had to go and make a higher low and a higher high. We weren't able to do that. We just went and put in a lower high, which was here, and then held it here, and then just put in a lower low here. So if you combine these two lows as one, potentially we had a lower low, a lower high, and confirmation was here. And that's probably why it sold off. Probably. Don't know. Probably. And it's okay. It's not a problem because, okay, we've sold off. That's it. That's it. It's the sell-off. The selling is finished. It's complete. That was it. That was the final sell-off happened. If you think that we only just turned to bearish and then you have the sell-off, what's all this? So we were bullish and everyone was selling. Now that we're bearish, blip. It's like a small blip. So potentially that's it. Potentially this is the end. Potentially. I don't really foresee significant selling after this, just simply because we're coming back into a much more prolonged range here and then here. Yeah, I think it's very highly unlikely. And you know, shit happens. The price tomorrow, someone could come along and go, wait a minute, I've got my bonus. I'm from Switzerland. I get paid too much. My uncle is a billionaire, and you just market buy and we're back up there. And then that would be really quite a bullish development if that was to happen, because that would be a failed auction from lower prices right back into where I honestly think the price should be. The price should honestly, in my opinion, should be right up here. It shouldn't be down here. It should be back up to 5.5, 6 cents. And so in the future we'll get back up here. Yeah, it might take a little bit of time, but once we get back up, I think we'll be flying again. So let's see what happens. That's kind of my take on TRVL. I don't do video. I do videos. I do TRVL on my live stream every day. I don't publish videos every day on TRVL. Why? Because I don't really have anything to say other than what I've already been saying. So unless people want me to say the same thing every single time, I may not always do a special cut version. I know some people like it because they like to have an update of good places to buy and sell. So the best place will always be to come to my live stream, and just I can just do it on the spot for you. But I mean, if I don't post a video, it doesn't mean I've faded out. Or if I post a video on another meme coin or something, altcoin, doesn't mean I prefer that or I'm more interested in that. It just means that I'm trying to network so we can grow the TRVL network bigger and bigger and bigger. And probably I think a good strategy would be to do other tokens and get people interested in technical analysis, and then maybe then in due course they will also hear about TRVL. And so that's really the strategy that I've deployed to try and get the word out. But I think everyone who's watching me or listening to me is going to be in the future is going to buy me a lot of drinks, because I see something and I can't really describe it, but when it happens, I think everyone's going to be absolutely unbelievably over the moon. Yeah. And my my quest is to my personal target is the high numbers. I really do. I really have that. It doesn't mean I'm not going to sell at key places to take profit. But it doesn't mean, it means I'm not going to sell all. It means I'm going to hold it for higher, because God forbid that in this bull market we get to high numbers like 25 or 30 or higher and you've sold all your TRVL. That's literally a nightmare. Literally, that's like that would be the nightmare. That would be the nightmare situation for us to get to really life-changing numbers, and most people who are in the project from day dot or day beginning or day from the first bit have no more TRVL because they ended up selling all of it on the way up. Yeah, and that would be detrimental to your psychological welfare, to your mental health, if that was to happen. So definitely, whatever you do, if you're going to take profit, whatever, just make sure you have enough in your bag so that if we do get to high numbers, that is still life, like it's continuously it's going to be life-changing sums, you know, because that's my personal goal, to take it to the high numbers. Okay, and you know, never know, maybe Bitcoin will one day get to stupidity, that stupid moment, and then we're going to get lots of people come on YouTube, and then I'm going to be able to tell them about this Airbnb killer TRVL Dtravel. All right, so this increasing in volume, you're like freaking out. I almost, it is quite scary. I look at this red, all this high volume selling. Who the fuck is buying this shit? Like, what the hell? Someone is buying, huh? It must be Dan, because he's been talking to me about good places to buy. Who knows? Someone is buying. I wish it was me. I'm probably gonna end up buying more at like 10 cents or something. An interesting development. I don't know if it's good news or bad news. Probably bad. So TRVL against BTC has actually made an all-time low. It's not the best news, but again, every cloud has a silver lining. Every, you know, every sunrise is precluded by the darkest moment. And is there a light moment to this moment? I don't know. It does mean that our fibs are, we can redraw our fibs a little bit. So it gives us a little bit of I can now kind of extend my fib down a few more pips. To there now. I don't know how far this is going to go down to. I can't predict it. If the golden ratio, the golden pocket lands on a, like there, let's just say it lands there, then we're going much lower. We're going all the way down to 367 or something like that. I don't know. That does make sense, doesn't it? For the golden pocket to be somewhere there. I don't know. I can't predict that. It's in free fall at the moment, isn't it? And don't panic, because eventually we're going to go back up. There's nothing wrong with this except that the momentum is to the downside. Yeah, and that's really what we don't want to be down too long. We do want to get back up. You see, we're having a downtrend reaction to the 50 moving average on the weekly time frame. We've put in a lower low, so we're still in a downtrend here. I don't know how quickly or how fast we're going to turn that around, but maybe this is not a bad thing if we just kind of get back up. Yeah, we don't want to go down too far, but we do want to get back up, and then when we do get back up, we want to get right back up. So I don't know how this is going to play out. I think if we do get some big releases and people do FOMO in, then we could change this trend for good, because you'll get a lot of value come in that won't leave. It'll just be locked in. So until that happens, we may not see a significant shift here. I was just trying to predict the extent of how far we're going to go. So I'm just going to have a look at that. If I can find the right tool, which I can't. Let me see, how would I do this? I'll do an extension to the bottom to the top. And then let me just do it from that pivot to let's try something else actually. What did I do? Let me try this one as well. Sorry, I'm just messing about, seeing if anything lines up that gives me a clue. I can't really tell how far we're gonna go down. Sometimes you can, and sometimes you can't, and I just can't right now. I've tried some different things which I would normally do. That wick is wrong. Let's try that. We've got like 482 thereabouts, 482. I don't know. Maybe there's a little trend line here as well from these lows, just these last two pivots. Yeah, who knows? No one really knows. This is just all speculative. Like I've said before, look at all these red candles. They're lovely red candles. That's what you want to see. Lots of red candles. On the daily time frame, it's not red. It's like green and red. But on the weekly time frame, you see all these like lovely reds, red with those wicks. So I honestly wouldn't be surprised if in the future we somehow hit bottom and then it's just green, 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 all the way up to the top. I wouldn't be surprised if that happens, just because of the way the price is sold off. This sell-off has got nothing to do with anything. Literally, it's just people buying for the Bitcoin bull market for higher prices and then selling because they feel like the Bitcoin bull market isn't going parabolic just yet. That's all it is. All it does is for us long-term hodlers gives us a real great opportunity to buy at cheap prices. Why? Because people are overselling. Yeah, so you have to understand what's happening right now with TRVL is that people are selling way cheaper than the actual price. Yeah, it's like there's not enough volume, there's not enough buy volume, and so there's more sellers and then market selling, and so they're pressing the price, they're pushing the price down, but it's not reflective, it's not indicative of the demand or the people interested in TRVL. It just shows you that we're in a low volume environment, and so at specific times where everyone sells, then the price really pushes down quite hard, but it's not true of the value of the token. And so it's an opportunity for people like me to go, what the hell, TRVL 4. I'm literally thinking like that. I'm like so desperate to release this capital. I honestly don't want it to go up in the next 4 weeks. I'll be honest with you, I'm really selfish about this. I really don't want the price to go up. I'm sorry. I'm waiting to get my second bag full, and then the price can go up. So don't market buy yet. Wait for me. Wait for me. And I'm not gonna market buy either. I'm just gonna put limit orders, and you'll see a really nice flat line for a period of time. I want to flatten this line out. These moving averages, I want to make them flat so we can go up. We can properly go up then. Yeah. So right now you can see the 50 moving average, the 4-hour time frame is still quite downy. Yeah. There was a period, it's never really been flat. It's always kind of been up or down, up or down. And certainly on the daily, we've had that same kind of behavior. It's always been like up and down, up and down, up and down. I wouldn't mind flattening these levels out, all of them, so we can just flatten it all out and have the daily, the 12, the 4, the 2, like every single time fractal just have a really kind of flat momentum, just kind of get into a kind of fixed area, so then we can really launch off. That's kind of what I wouldn't mind seeing. It would kind of counterintuitive to Dan's idea of a head and shoulders pattern, but you know, I don't really care which pattern plays out, as long as it goes up eventually. I was thinking if I could go flat for a few weeks here before it goes up would be nice. That's what I was thinking. It doesn't have to be here, it could be anywhere. And I think that will give people confidence as well. So right now, I think the reason why a lot of people are not pulling the trigger is because they still see the price dropping. Yeah. And so naturally what people are looking for is a little bit of a reversal, or they're just waiting for the price to flatten out, to bottom out, to be clearly to stop going down. And in the future, I think it's definitely going to be a good strategy to absorb the price, but you know, the price action may be different in the future, so we can't really preempt what the future. Like right now we're looking at a low liquid, off the radar token. In the future we might be dealing with something that everyone's heard of, and everyone's like, who hasn't heard of Dtravel, who hasn't heard of TRVL? We might be in that future in the future, and so then things will change a lot. That's kind of my TRVL update. Thanks for joining me, Dan. Stan's here, Marvey, Gary, regulars who come on. Cactus Cake was on a bit earlier. So no, sorry, Tim the Chin, and David. if you want to just come on and talk about TRVL, just come on, and we're all TRVL investors here, and we like to have a party. All right, looking at Slurf, back to Slurf. Oh yeah, it's miserable now, isn't it? It dropped and it went up and it dropped.